Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Tony and I'm here for honest talk about life's ups and downs and everything in between. If you've already seen a few of my videos, you probably have a good idea of what my relationship status is, but a few people have asked, so today I'm going to tell you why I'm single by choice. The fact is, I've never been the type to actively look for a relationship. I mean, sure, like most teenagers, I'd often daydream about meeting someone and all the romance and excitement that goes with it. I think that's a fairly universal feeling, right? But even then, I never really looked for love. I always just waited for it to find me. And luckily, it did. So just to be clear, I haven't always been single. I have had a couple of long-term relationships and a few shorter ones too. Certainly enough to know that I could find someone if I really wanted to. I mean, most people can find someone, right? It just depends on your standards and priorities. And I'm just genuinely happy on my own. So here are the three main reasons why I choose to be single, and you can let me know if any of them resonate for you. So the first and probably biggest reason is just who I am as a person. The truth is, there are very few people I feel attracted to. And by very few, I mean like once every 5 or 10 years, I might meet someone I feel a glimmer of connection with. And connection is the key word. I really don't care what someone looks like. I mean, of course, I can see objectively, Henry Cavill is a more handsome man than Quasimodo. But if I had to choose, I'd genuinely want to get to know each of them first. And unless there's a meeting of minds, I'm just not interested. And sorry, Henry, but if Quasimodo can make me laugh, I'm definitely choosing him. And it's interesting because I don't struggle to get on with people, but there's a difference between an acquaintance and a good friend, and an even bigger difference between a friend and a romantic partner. There has to be something much deeper than surface level attraction. And apparently there is a word for this: demisexual. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about labels, but apparently it's when you only experience a romantic attraction to someone if there is some kind of mental bond. Now, as a side note, apparently this is very typical of a personality type known as the INFJ. Now, I'm still undecided how much I buy into all that, but if there's anyone out there who's into the whole Myers-Briggs thing, let me know if you're an INFJ and if this rings true for you. And maybe I'll do a video about that sometime. Okay, the second reason I choose to be single is because I once had a relationship with a narcissist. And Jesus, what an experience that was. If you know, you know. Nothing feels lonelier than being with someone who makes you feel like shit. And unfortunately, there's nothing like a bit of narcissistic abuse to completely kill your trust in people. I used to think I was too smart to fall into an abusive relationship, because I figured if someone ever treated me badly, I'd spot it straight away and leave. Easy, right? Nope. Because abuse can be stealthy, and it certainly isn't always physical. Sometimes it sneaks up on you in ways you don't recognize until your confidence has already evaporated, and at that point you feel trapped. And I didn't know any of this when I first met Kyle. Let's call him Kyle, as in Jeremy Kyle. Not his real name, but close enough. Anyway, at first Kyle seemed kind, funny, charming, all the things. But over time, the manipulation started. The gaslighting, the cycle of pushing me away and hoovering me back up. And it was an absolute mindfuck, to be honest. I can only describe it as being like an addiction. There were just enough good moments to keep you hooked, even though you know you'll end up feeling awful. So that was this really horrible on-again, off-again situation for 5 years until I finally found the strength to end things once and for all. But since then, it's been a lot more difficult to trust people. And whilst some people might say my red flag detection system is hypersensitive, I think I'm okay with that. It's self-preservation, you know? Oh, and fun fact, Kyle died a few years later. And you know what? I felt pretty much nothing other than a mild sense of relief that I'd never see him again. So that was nice. Okay, I said there are 3 reasons I'm single, and I've saved the best for last, because long before Kyle, there was John. And yes, John is his real name, John short for Jonathan. We met at university when we were both 19, and it was one of those cases where you just click from the moment you meet. So we were pretty much inseparable for the next 8 years. But like all couples, we had our struggles, and we were young and still figuring out who we were. And one of the biggest differences is that I really wanted to travel and explore and try new things. And John was the complete opposite. He was the real stay-at-home type. In the end, we made the very painful decision to separate. Not because we stopped loving each other, but because we just needed different things at that time in our lives. And it was really hard, but it was the right thing to do. But even after we split, we stayed very close. You know, certainly emotionally and mentally, we never lost contact with each other. We never really let go of each other, you know, and deep down, we both believed we'd find our way back to each other once we'd each lived and matured a bit more. And around our late 30s, early 40s, it definitely felt like we were heading in that direction. But life had other plans, as they say. And if you've seen my videos from a few years ago, you'll know that John passed away from cancer at the age of 43, which was devastating. And when you've had a connection like that, it means that anything less will never quite feel like enough. I'm not saying it's impossible to find that again, but the chances, I can't help thinking that kind of thing happens once in a lifetime, if you're lucky. And I mean, having 2 dead exes, that's a bit of a mind bender. Not exactly the kind of dating history you casually bring up over coffee. Some people assume that being single means being lonely, but honestly, I love my space. I need my alone time. And I love knowing that my happiness isn't tied to whether someone texts me back. You know, I've come to hate that feeling of having my head full of someone else. I only have so much mental bandwidth, and that's precious. I want to use it for other things. There's no drama, no compromising on how I spend my time, no awkward family gatherings with the in-laws, no having to share my bed with another snoring, farty, sweaty human. And I've just realised that in making this video, I've probably sealed my fate to remain single forever. So what about you? Are you happily single, unhappily single? Maybe you've never been single. I know some people hate the idea. So drop a comment below and let's be gentle, because this has potential to be a sensitive topic for some people. As ever, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and hit all the buttons if you're enjoying my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.